Hi, Ray Hayden here, and this video is part 3 of 3 of the 4-part series on the video production equipment that I've used and the evolutionary process along the way since I became involved in professional video production in 1992 when I started in the field of litigation support. Now, litigation support basically is video depositions. There are other video products that could be made, demonstrations, inspection videos. I will do those. I do those as well. I'll do inspection videos where some expert is doing an investigation or something, or inspection of something. I'll record the expert doing that. I will go out and do site surveys and things like that in video. But for the most part, the big giant area of video production for me, and has always been since 1992, it has always been in the area of depositions. Depositions, as they say, is the bread and butter of the video production field for litigation support. Outside of the other side of the coin is like people that are private investigators. Private investigators use video for surveillance purposes to basically prove or disprove a claim. Sometimes they go out there and they prove a claim up and the defense will pay the claim. Sometimes they demonstrate that somebody's really doing a fraudulent claim and they'll deny the claim and maybe prosecute. But anyways, the point being is that for me, I don't do anything like that. All I do for the most part is deposition work, and I do presentations back in court as well. But this video specifically is about the video bag, and I want to mention the disclaimer up front is that I am going to mention company names, model numbers, and things of that nature. This is the equipment that I personally use professionally in the field today. The only thing you're not going to see is my Bogan/Manfrotto tripod, which is actually what's holding up my phone today. The tripod I normally use for the phone is holding up part of the microphone extension cable so that I don't trip and fall on it and look silly. Or just hurt myself. Why do that? Or worse, hurt the microphone. My goodness, what am I talking about? So I don't want to hurt the microphone or the extension cable. Now, I want to mention something about that real quick that's not really related to the bag. It's more for the experimental video process of it. Let's talk about funds. Financing or paying for or affordability of it. If you're looking at this thing on a cell phone, you have in your hands right then and there. A lot of people, by the way, look at my videos on a cell phone or a tablet or something. If you have a tablet that can record video, or if you have a cell phone that can record video, that you already have the most effective, affordable video production package in your hands. If you can get good audio and you can get good video on your cell phone, like I'm trying to do here, I'm trying to up my level of my professional capability with a cell phone, but a cell phone and a high quality cell phone video is all over the place. There's some horrible cell phone video out there, but there's also some very, very good professional video out there on YouTube and on the internet and stuff that you can find, and that's where I'm trying to go with my cell phone video. With that, I want to talk about expenses. All of the equipment in this video bag that I currently use is affordable within the realm of video production. It's I got a bang for the buck. It's got return on investment. It's just good stuff. It's good equipment. Then that's all my own personal opinion, because what I'm going to say about this, when I mention the name brands and everything, nobody's paying me. I don't have to make that disclaimer to you that anybody's paying me, because nobody is. Nobody's paying me to discuss their product or services or whatever. This is all my opinion. This is my product. These are my personal opinions about the products that I use out there in the field professionally, and I'll explain why a little bit too, the evolution of what I use and why I use it. This is the Rode SmartLav Plus microphone, and it's connected to the SC1 Rode 20-foot extension cord, which I have looped over a tripod so I don't kill myself with it, or worse, damage the microphone like I said. This microphone and that extension cord are extremely affordable in the realm of a microphone and extension cord for these purposes. I can get an XLR microphone extension cord probably for about the same money or less. And it's heavier duty, but it won't work for this process. So you need to have the right tools to get the right job done. Now I got to mention about the two software packages or applications for recording video in the ZTE Axon 7 phone. The first one I'll talk about is I mentioned it in another video, but in this video, I just want to make sure that I have it in this video with it so we don't lose that. the phone comes with a default camera application that will shoot video. That application currently, at the time of making of this video, does not recognize external microphones, including the microphone for the earbuds. It does not recognize external microphones at all, okay, as of this recording. Hopefully ZTE will make a change, because obviously it can work, because this one's working. So it is a software change that they can do and evolve and make sure that external microphones are recognized to record audio into the phone. Hiccups, pardon me. The other software is Open Camera software. If you go to the Google Play Store and you look in the applications, if you start typing in Open CAM, it should be coming up as Open Camera software. It's excellent software. It allows us to recognize an external microphone. If it's connected, you go into the settings and you select it. If present, use the external microphone. And if you don't have the external microphone, you don't have to change the setting. It will default to the built-in microphone into our phones. So that works just fine. The issue I have with Open Camera is, as of the making of this video, I still don't find a way to record directly to the additional storage that I have installed in my phone. I have a 128 gigabyte SDXC micro card installed in my Axon 7, and Open Camera, that I can tell, does not allow me to record to that external card, or additional card that I have in the phone. So there's 128 gigabytes of video storage potential that I can't use with Open Camera. However, the default software that does allow me to record to the additional storage doesn't recognize an external microphone. So it's kind of a coin toss there on which way to go in how to get my videos done with the cell phone. I prefer to have the option or the availability of using an external microphone, and I might pick up an additional extra microphone that works with the cell phone from Rode here, and if I do, I'll do a review about that. And all of these experimental videos, this is the first one where I'm using the external microphone for the series, and I got to tell you, this is a glowing review for the SmartLav Plus microphone from Rode. I like it very, very much. Now with that, let's get into the purpose of this video, and that's the video bag. Everything in here is in the realm of affordable, being the most affordable package that you can have for video production is the cell phone in your hand. For talking head videos in depositions or office environments or anywhere where you can plug into the wall every time, all the time, that's what I require for these kind of videos. So this is the video bag. So let's get into talking about some name brands here. And I want to, this is funny. On the strap alone, there's a logo, and just one. Oddly enough, there's only one logo there. This will be funny in a second. There's a big logo on the side of the bag here. On the other side of the bag and on the front, there are big logos. The only place they didn't put a logo is on the back of the bag. I don't know why they didn't put one there. This is a Porta-Brace bag. Porta-Brace is Portabrace, Porta-Brace, and they're in Vermont. So Porta-Brace is a very professional bag for video production and film, video, movies, whatever, television stuff, things that are going to be shot on film, shot on video, any format. Here's why I chose the Porta-Brace bag as my bag of choice for the video bag. I initially used something else, just kind of like go to the luggage store or whatever and try to buy a bag to stuff your video things in. And that didn't work out so well. I was watching television and I was seeing like news conferences and things of that nature, and everybody else is looking for the news story. I'm looking for the videographers to see the behind the scenes things, and what I'm looking for is what kind of bags that they carry their equipment in. And I noticed it was a bright blue bag or this color blue bag, and they always said, and because of the logos, thank you Porta-Brace for putting them on there, I recognize it's a Porta-Brace bag. Now these are professional videographers. They're hired by big news agencies, or they're paid by big news agencies. Some are independent folks, but they're carrying their professional gear that costs a lot more money than any of my gear, and they're carrying it in a professional bag called Porta-Brace. I noticed this because I was looking for it. Everybody else, anybody else out there who may not be looking for the behind the scenes stuff, will in their mind, their eye and their brain saw the Porta-Brace bag. So psychologically speaking, subconsciously, if I show up with a Porta-Brace bag and my equipment's in Porta-Brace bags, I've just increased my level of professional insight or whatever, because I recognize that a professional uses a Porta-Brace bag. I'm not really selling Porter Brace at all, but if they want to send a donation to the cause, I'll accept. Anyways, but the point is they make excellent, excellent products. And I'll tell you about that in a second. As of the making of this video, it's 2017. That's when I'm shooting this one here. June of 2017. This bag was produced in March of 2002. It's almost brand new. It almost looks brand new. It functions perfectly. It's an excellent, all the zippers work. Everything about the bag is fantastic. It's very, very strong, very, very well made. Comes with a shoulder strap, comes with a whole bunch of accessories actually. A lot of them I don't actually have in the bag because the devices that I have either don't need other additional protective things, or they have their own. So with that, let's go into the bag a little bit. I'm going to take things out and we're going to discuss, as a matter of fact, before I do that, let me discuss that. I talk about the video path and the audio path. Let's talk about the video path. The video path is real short and sweet. Using any camera here, for this bag, it's the camera looking at the person I'm trying to videotape, or I say tape. Nobody uses tape anymore. Whoever I'm trying to record on video is being seen by the camera. That's it. That's the video path. Before, I'd go from the video camera to a video recording device to an external drive device or anything like that. The camera had to send the video somewhere else. Here, the camera doesn't have to send the video anywhere else. The camera is the recording device, and the flip out screen on the camera is what I use to view the video while I'm recording. So, and it gives me a lot of information built into that viewfinder as well. So the audio path is real short and sweet too. On our cell phones, normally the audio path would be the phone. Okay, short and sweet. Microphone right to the phone and you're recording it. Here, in this particular case, microphone through an extension cord into the cell phone, that's the audio path. As long as I know that there's a spare connection going on here, and I'm well aware of that, and I'm cautious of this connection, and I put it in my pocket so I don't trip over it or anything, and disconnect the microphone. But if I did disconnect the microphone completely, the internal microphone on the camera would pick it up, and I just have to tweak it in post-production. So let's go into the bag here. In the bag, it's got a pocket on either side of the bag. Okay, this is the front of the bag, and these are the two sides. On the let me talk about one thing first. The bag has a double zipper system here. It's got two zippers, and this flap opens up. The two zippers have a drawstring. You can just pull it, and they both open up equally. And the bag opens up from this side here. You're going to see cables sticking out of the bag here because there's a Velcro closure here. So I can close this bag up, put the Velcro together, and I can zip it up there. All right. So that's the main part of the bag. But the zipper comes this way and the flap opens this way. That's important in a minute, but let's talk about the other side of the bag that's going to be covered up by the flap. In this pocket, the pockets are the same on either side. There's a wide pocket, it's about 1.5 inches or 2 inches, and it's kind of flexible, so it has some wiggle room in it. And then it has a flat pocket sewn to the front of it. That pocket there, I keep a spare microphone mixer to camera cable in there. By the way, this is the 3.5 millimeter cable that I was hoping to plug in to use my professional equipment with the ZTE Axon 7, but the SC4 device from Rode is really not meant for that in the first place, and obviously because it didn't work. This is a spare. I have another spare in the bag as well. The only reason for that is, heaven forbid something go wrong and I need a different cable. I have one on hand. Not too bad to have. The good thing is these bags allow me to have plenty of room for spare things. And speaking of spare things, this is a 25-foot microphone cord. I don't use these very often, and I say these because there's not one, there's two of them. So I have 50 feet of extension cord for my microphones right here. Now these are pretty thin. This cable here is pretty thin, but not nearly as thin as this cable. Okay, so these can take a little bit of a beating if they had to. Best not to beat up your microphone in the first place. Sorry if I'm making noise here, I just want to adjust my shirt. So that's it, there's nothing else in these pockets. I just have a spare cable to get my microphone mixer into my camera, and I have 50 feet of extension cords for microphones. Now, let me get this shoulder strap out of the way, and let's go into the front pocket. It has little tiny flat pockets on the front here. You can put business cards or whatever in here. I have a couple of pens. I actually rarely need a pen out there in the field because everything's, you can use your smartphone and make notes. As a matter of fact, any notes or scripting or anything I actually have on my cell phone when I go to a job. I have to make an announcement at the beginning of my videos, and the announcement is like a script. It's very short and sweet, but I have it written out and I have it on my cell phone under my calendar application of all things. That's the front pockets. These are just open air. Then I have the front flat zippered pocket, but I actually have a couple of things in here. These are 2 microphones. These microphones are actually lavalier microphones. I don't ever use them except in an extreme emergency where somebody just won't talk loud enough. And I also have an additional tabletop microphone in here as well. And then also in this pouch, I have another spare cable for getting the microphone mixer into my camera. So I have 3 of those all together. One's hooked up all the time. Then let's go into the main. Oh, I also have a little plastic bag here for trash or whatever, anything like that if something happens, or I got a little garbage I need to clean up and remove from the scene with me. You don't want to leave your trash behind. Pack it in, pack it out kind of idea. Be friendly to your clients. That's in there as well. Then go into the zippered pocket. This is a wide zipper pocket. Like this has a wide pocket on the side. This has a wide pocket on the front. It's got a zipper as the main pouch. The first thing I'm going to remove is a microphone cable. And this microphone cable is actually connected to the microphone mixer inside the bag. So we're talking about our audio path, microphone to this cable here, to the microphone mixer, and then into the camera with one of these kind of cables here. Another thing that I have in this bag is, lo and behold, I have an additional microphone cable. Now, I don't very often need this, but if I do, it's available, as are these cables here. This cable I would use more often than these 25-foot ones. This is a shorter cable. I'll just put him there. And I have an additional power cord extension. This is just one connection and one additional outlet. This is just if I'm too far away from a wall outlet, this gives me a little bit of extra reach in there. There's nothing else in that pocket, so that's a wrap on that. And let's go over to, let's go actually into the bag itself. Okay, again, the flap opens from that side of the bag. If you're looking at the front of the bag, that's the left side, and then it opens up to the other side. Now the reason for that is I have a couple of cables coming out of the bag, and these cables are actually tucked into the pockets on the side. The main thing, everything in the main part of the bag here, the big part of the bag, these are the things that I use every single time. I will be using everything that's inside this. These things and these other pockets I don't need so much, but this outside pocket here and the main compartment, this is the stuff that I need every single time. And not all of it every single time, so that's almost a misnomer. I have 2 tabletop microphones that I can put out on this is the first part of the audio path, these microphones. And then I have a bag, this is like a fanny pack, but it's a leather fanny pack that I don't really use anymore. And I decided I would put my camera inside this bag, a nice protective bag. Now, Porter Brace will also give us, I believe, 2 bags coming, and one they're color coded too. This has a red, I don't know, tab on it or whatever, and they also have ones with here it is actually right here. And here's one with the yellow tab. So you can use the color coordination there to identify what things might be in what bag. Maybe red for the video camera, maybe yellow for additional audio cables or whatever. There is a firewire cable in the red bag. So firewire in red, that kind of makes sense. Explains why I did that one. But anyway, so my camera, as I mentioned before many times, is a tiny camera. It's the Canon Vixia HFR 500. Currently they're up to the 800 series. That's my camera. And in that same pocket with the camera, I have the dainty headphones, the dainty earbud, and an extension cable for that. There's nothing else in the main part of the bag, but over in the front part of the bag, I carry the battery. Now I carry the battery separate from the camera because years ago, I lost one of my digital video recorders because I left the battery on and accidentally, I had it in one of these soft bags, and that's if there's a problem with that, disconnect the battery. Number one, I learned my lesson. It was expensive, but I learned it. The button was pushed up against something else, the on button, so it turned on and burned up the motherboard. So that was a bad issue. I certainly don't want anything to catch on fire. So I disconnect the battery from my camera and I put it in a different pocket in the pouch so there's no chance of that being activated. I always use the battery when I'm shooting video. I always go ahead and connect that up and have it on there. And just in case there's a power fluctuation, not a power outage, but a power fluctuation, I wanted to have that battery because then it doesn't skip a beat. That's the only things I have in there except this baby here. And this is my Shure SCM 268 microphone mixer. SCM 268 microphone mixer. It has 4 inputs, one of which is connected. Hold it this way. There's the 4 microphones that we can put in here. There's an auxiliary adapter we can put in there as well. I don't ever use that. But I typically use microphone number 4, and they're easy to know because the knob is directly in front of the connection. So microphone number 4 is this one here. It also tells you on the back that it's microphone number 4 because it has the numbers underneath the connecting spot. All right, so this cable is always connected, and this is the other end of this cable right here. All right, we'll get into that in a minute. This plug here, this is that wire here. The first 2 I showed you, this is the 3rd one, and it's an XLR connection on this end, which plugs right into the back of the microphone mixer. And then the other end, I'll get to in a second, but that's this end here that plugs into the camera to get the audio there. And this other plug here is the power supply for that. Now I'm going to put this off to the side here just for a second, and I'm going to pull out this part of the bag. There's nothing else but the rest of this cable. There's nothing else in the bag right now. This is the extra cable, power cable for the mixer, and I'll get back to that in a second. This is the power wall wart. This is the wall wart for the camera itself. This is on their 90-degree angles. I had one that was like 45-degree angles and had 3 or 4 connections on it or whatever. But sometimes somebody wants to plug into my power, and the wall warts are like too big and cumbersome or whatever, and they actually blocked one of my power outlets. So I got rid of that, and I got this little device here that you can plug in 3, and then this plugs into just a single plug on an extension cord. So that's where my power comes from for that. I just set that in the bag, and when I'm shooting video, basically I have this on here. There's no zippers or anything. This is a Velcro closure. So I don't zip it shut, I just put the Velcro back over there, and I put my microphone mixer right on top. Now this whole bag sits right below my tripod, so I don't take up much room. This bag sits underneath my tripod, and that is where I operate. I'm working a camera, I'm adjusting the volume on the microphones, and we're good to go. Now let's look at this side pocket over here. We need power. I have to plug into the wall, so this big pocket on this side has an extension cable. Now the way I do this, I'll pull the whole thing out briefly and I'll put it back in there. I cable this thing up in such a way that if I had to, I can just pull some of the cord out and I can just go and just pull, and it doesn't, sometimes the whole thing will come out, but very rarely. Just enough power cord to plug into the wall. So I'll just pull out just enough cable to plug into the wall, and I'm good to go. And then it's so crawled up, and it's got that memory of how it's wrapped up and everything, that it's very quick to wrap it up and plug it back in. Now in the front pocket on this side, I have 2 cables here, and these are how I get my sound up into the camera and the power. This is the other end of that cable. Actually, what I did is when I wrapped these up the last time I wrapped them up together as one unit. And I can do that, that's fine and dandy. Sometimes you keep them separate. But this is the power plug that goes into the camera, and the only thing I like open source stuff, I don't like proprietary stuff, but this is a proprietary power plug. And there you go. So that's what powers up the camera. And when I flip open the screen, this is the thing about these cameras that allows me to use my professional microphones with. It has that input for a microphone. That's very, very important. The other thing I plug in is my headphones, and this is the extension cord to the earbuds, and I plug that in there too. Now this whole thing's sitting on a tripod, and my flip out screen has a whole lot of information on it. Actually, I can turn that on. I don't think you'll be able to see very much of it, but it's going to give me a warning that my little screen isn't open, so I'll open up the screen. And then there's a whole lot of information on the screen. I don't know how well, I'd have to get it close up to the camera here for you to see it. But there's an information, and I actually have a level line, so I know what level is. I'm hoping this video isn't kind of tilted one way or the other. I shot another test video and it was tilted, which is why I use this microphone, this tripod now. but I have a level line, so I make sure that it's level. I check it with the desktop or whatever, or the ceiling, maybe the ceiling line, and I'll check it to make sure that the scene is level, and now I'll go ahead and be set up and ready to go. So there you go. So that's the video path, is just basically to the camera, which is doing a recording of the video. The audio goes from a microphone. I'll take it out in a second and show you how it hooks up. It's real easy. The microphone hooks up to the cable for the audio path. The cable hooks up to the microphone mixer. The microphone mixer plugs right into the side of the camera. And that's it for and then I plug in my headphones to monitor the sound while I'm recording. And by the way, that's the only thing I dislike about the cell phone video is I can't monitor the sound while I'm shooting it. There's another thing is, one of the little instructions that comes out, or one of the little indicators that comes out, is like the light show that you get on the front of your microphone mixer. I also get a little indicator here as to the quality and volume of the audio that I'm recording. Okay, so there's a VU meter built into the screen on the camera and on the microphone mixer. So I have a visual reference of how the audio is. I don't have that. Not that I want to wear headphones the whole time I'm shooting video like I used to, but when I'm recording these kind of videos, but it would be nice to have some kind of visual indication on the screen of the audio level. So I have an idea of the quality of the audio that I'm recording at the time. So with that, this is indeed the video bag. This is what I go out with in the field and shoot today. And one more thing I wanted to show you, the microphone. I show these in some other video, but this, might as well keep it together. This this microphone has a very long cable to it. So what I normally do is I have to stretch out the microphone cable. Now this, again, is a thinner cable, and I don't want to ever take a chance on somebody destroying my microphone cable, because that gets very expensive real fast. But the microphone just connects in. This is just a microphone cord. It's XLR, male to female, one end to the other, just like all the other microphone cables. But for the microphone, it just plugs right in. It clicks in, locks. Let me do that again. Listen. Okay, there's a little click there. Hopefully you heard that. And it is locked in nice and neat. Now this little cartridge here is an adapter, because the microphone comes apart here. And this little mini pin adapter, mini XLR thing, this could be plugged into one of those wireless transmitters. So if you wanted to use wireless audio, you could. And this is part of the reason why I wish we could use these kind of things with the cell phone, because then you could have somebody on a wireless microphone, not have to worry about cabling at all, and shoot your audio with your video that way. And that'd be just a really nice thing to have, a nice option. So anyway, so that's the microphone connected to everything. And this is indeed the current video package that I use to this day out there professionally. And by the way, when I'm shooting video, the only thing you see is the bag and the microphone mixer. You don't see all these things, okay? You do see the camera up on a tripod, but when somebody looks and they see below the tripod, they see a bag. On the bag, they see the microphone mixer. There's no other equipment they see. So this is a pretty impressive package, because people are like, I see your videos, I look at your videos, they look great, they sound great, but out there in the field when you're doing it and you're making the production of the video, you're very discreet. It's very minimalistic, shall we say. The only way to get smaller is if you could do something with your cell phone, in all honesty. Now, the only reason why I really can't use a cell phone, well, other than where I can record to on the memory cards, I can't use a cell phone because of zooming in and focus and things of that nature. I need a camera that has some sort of manual controls. Even if I'm using the screen on this camera for some of those controls, I need to have more manual control over the camera for the kind of video that I shoot. So for me, not much bigger than the cell phone, I have a camera that does everything I need it to do. And this microphone mixer and these microphones and the connections allow me to get that job done in a professional manner. So with that, that'll wrap it up for the video bag. And if you have any questions, comments, bitches, gripes, and complaints, as they say, go ahead and make some notes in the discussion below. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask. And with that, until I catch you in the next video, take care and be well.